This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Herbert Valdez says, what does it mean for the Dolphins that Howard was put on the PUP? You know, Herbert, now that you brought that up, I do have that note here, and let me address that for you right now, because I do have some thoughts on this. First of all, it's a little bothersome for me. I know he's 8 months removed from knee surgery, and I know the reporter said, well, an NFL source, agent, says that it wasn't just a scope. So then that also has me worried. If it's not just a scope, what else was it? What else is wrong with his knee? You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think this now with X. Get him healthy. Hope he has a great year. And you know what? Trade his ass as soon as possible. Okay? Now, first of all, I don't even think there's going to be an NFL season. Okay? I think the NFL is going to be an absolute disaster. I think guys are going to be testing left and right for COVID, and you're going to have all kinds of idiots that are going to just do stupid things and screw it up for everybody else. I just truly believe that. You know, I'd love to not think that, but I've seen enough I've seen enough stupidity in the NFL as it is. So I can't imagine that all 80 players are going to be smart about this. There's always going to be 2, 3, 4 knuckleheads that are going to screw it up for everybody else. And you saw it with the Marlins. It wasn't like 19 people all contacted COVID. It was probably one person that spread it. We told you the story of one spreading it to 70. So one spreading it to 18 others is not, one is 70 is a hell of a lot more impressive. You know what I'm saying? So it took only one person for that thing to just take over. So X has to have a really good season if they have a season this year. Okay? And if he's able to have a great season and build that value back up again and no domestic issues and all of that, if you have a market for him next year, you move his ass. Because if you're telling me that it was more than a scope, then I'm concerned even more about that knee. Okay? And the Dolphins should be more concerned about that knee. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is the part of him being on the PUP list that bothered me a little bit. Because when you hear, well, it was more than a scope. Oh, man, I don't like that. He's had enough scopes that you're like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? What kind of itis is in there? Arthritis, tendonitis? You tell me. You know? So I would tell you this. I'd be very concerned about that knee now. You know? And that's something you can't predict, but if he can get back to a Pro Bowl form this year, if they have a season, which is an enormous if, I would ship his ass out next offseason before the draft and try to get whatever I can for him. You know, you may not be able to get peak value because of the domestic issue in the past and the knee issue. But if he goes out there and he balls out, at least the team that gets him knows, okay, he's playing at a high level right now. And so you're going to have to try to find that perfect marriage of that team that needs that DB in order to get over the top. And then they're willing to take that risk with X. They don't have to give him the signing bonus because Miami already did. So they inherit the contract, but they don't inherit the signing bonus. So they win, whoever you're trading them to. And as Miami, it's not going to hurt you cap-wise because you're going to have enough flexibility that you'll be fine once it gets accelerated off the trade. You'll be able to deal with the dead money and you can move on. And you're in a rebuild anyways. So it's not the end of the world. And if Noah elevates himself, then you've got Jones and Noah, and then you can draft another guy. You know what I'm saying? And remember this. I mentioned this before because some of you go, whoa, what if you can't find another one? Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. The guy that's drafted X. And if Byron Jones plays well, the guy that's drafting signed him as a free agent. And if Noah plays well, then the guy that drafted Noah is the guy that's there. So don't worry about it. That's the beauty of all of this. If Noah plays well and X is playing well, then you know he can find cornerbacks. So he'll go find. And by the way, it's late first rounder and the other one's a second rounder. It's not like it's like a no-brainer cornerback that's supposed to be top 5 pick. Like, okay, well, wow, everybody knows that guy's supposed to be a monster. You pick him in the late first, you pick him in the second, well, then they fell for some reason, but you saw something they didn't. You know what I mean? So the fact that X ends up on the PUP list should be disturbing to a certain extent, okay? And it'll be interesting to see how he plays. And it'll be very important if you're a Dolphin fan that he has no other setbacks with that knee. And now listen, all of this could be also more precautionary for them. Like, okay, we're not in a hurry. This is a year where we didn't have a real off season. This guy's coming off a knee injury and operation. Let's bring him along slowly. But that nugget that agent told the writer, I know it said NFL source. I know it's the agent. The agent, by telling that writer that it was more than a scope, that was disturbing to me. Okay? That's all I can tell you. So we'll see what the next, 8-9 months hold, and we'll figure everything out when it's all said and done. We got to give a little love to Drewbo. He has chimed in with a little super chat. Thank you, Drewbo. Or I'm Drew Boo. I always say Drew Bo. I don't know why, but Drew Boo, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. So there you go, Herbert. I hope I answered your question, kind of.
Is this a definite change of course? Because you've been about waiting till he gets back his peak value.
Yeah, that's next year. You got that. Yeah, I'm still the same thing. Yeah, you can't trade him now. There's no value in trading him now. He's off a domestic issue. He's got a knee injury. You don't trade him now. You're not going to get anything. You got to wait till you got to let him play out this year. And if there's a year, and if he balls, then next year you ship him out. That's it. That's what you do. You have to, because if he continues to have knee issues, it's not going to get any better. I have yet to see.
Oh, this is not going to miraculously improve?
No, I have yet to see a dude that all of a sudden has got several knee issues and scopes, and it gets better, and it doesn't affect him for the rest of his life. I don't think that's going to happen.
And usually with knees, once that starts,
it's over.
That's it. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, it's over. The itis kicks in, and that's exactly what ends up happening. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the X-Man being placed on the physically unable to perform list 8 months after surgery. We'll see. Slow rehab, setback, being careful, whatever it is, build up that value and trade his ass next year is what you got to hope for. That's all I can say.
Because of the draft pick, exactly what they have the option of being extra precautious because they do have a first-round pick at corner.
Yes.
And there is some depth there. So, because we had a bunch of guys step up and play, it is probably our deepest and best position, right? Mm-hmm. Secondary.
Yeah.
So, err on the side of caution. I understand that.
Yeah. No.